Level up your LA Kings experience with Vivid Seats Elite Seats. All the on-ice Kings action with even more exclusive access and rewards. Enjoy great seats to the game in Section 103 along with Yamava Club access and parking included with your purchase. Plus, get a free Team LA Kings shop item at the game. Score your Vivid Seats Elite Seats tickets today and earn perks on each purchase from the only leading ticket company with a rewards program. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official partner of the LA Kings. Did you know the LA Kings have their own culinary partner? It's Superfood, celebrating 10 years and over 1 million meals served. Since 2020, the Kings have trusted Superfood to fuel their players. Now through Simply Lunch, you can bring that same performance-driven food to your office. Because when people eat better, they work better. Visit mysuperfood.com. That's mysuperfd.com. Or call 213-973-6145. Qualified companies can enjoy a free lunch for up to 10 managers.
You're listening to All the Kings Men, the official podcast of the LA Kings. Now, here's your host, Jesse Cohen.
Welcome back, Kings fans, to a brand new episode of All the Kings Men. Joining us today, Chief Revenue Officer of your LA Kings, Darren Abbott. How are you doing today, Darren?
I'm excellent. I'm happy to be in here.
Happy to have you here. First time, I think.
I think it's the first time I've been in the room, but it's the first time on a podcast. I'm kind of a behind the scenes guy.
And featuring Zach Dooley. How are you doing today, Zach?
Jesse, I'm doing great. I think you did the rain pod, definitely with Jared and Josh.
Yep.
Maybe with Cam and I don't remember, but
not with Cam.
No?
Not with Cam. Jared and Josh. Yeah.
Cam might have been adamant.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the summer's starting to wrap up. Every day on social media, I'm seeing this many days left till opening night, and I understand why
I'm glad you're seeing that, by the way.
I'm glad a lot of fans relate to opening night, but for me, it's rookie camp. It's training camp. So we're like less than a month away. So you've got to have all sorts of stuff on your plate right now.
We do. I mean, our staff right now is pretty. They've been here for a few years, the key people. So we've been pretty organized. I think this summer. I don't think it's. We had a lot of turnover, and I think this year it's. They've been in a good spot, so I think we're ready to roll.
So a lot of changes to scheduling this year with the 84 game introduction, shorter training camp, shorter preseason. How does that change the process of creating a schedule?
You'd have to ask Luke with that one. Like he's really good at it. He works with the league, he badgers the league. I mean, he works with the building. Haley Yevich, I don't want to get her name wrong, but I think I just did. But anyway, he works with her and he works with the league, and he's unique because he played, so he knows, he knows what to do and what not to do for the players. But he likes the revenue as well, so it's good.
How important is it to prioritize Saturday home games? Like when I worked in the minor leagues, it was all about Saturdays because the fans want to come on Saturdays.
Am I allowed to swear?
We could.
It's fine with me. Tyler's the one who's got to edit it out.
Jesse's got a fun little riff that he plays over.
I'm not editing.
No,
so
that's true.
It's up to Tyler. I'll send it to him if he wants. But
no, Saturdays are what it's all about. It's we try to get as many as we can. I think last year we had 16, so he does a great job.
When you have a preference for something like that, obviously there are 31 other teams who have their own preferences. Yeah. The league has to, I looked it up the other day just because I was curious about NFL versus NHL. The NFL has, less than 300 games. The NHL has more than 1,800.
Yes.
That's got to be a complicated process of juggling other teams' wants with the Kings.
Honestly, you should get Steve and Nico on your podcast. From the league, it's incredible.
That'd be cool.
It's incredible. Yeah. They're great. I don't know how they do it.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it. I just know it's if you call them about a specific date, they know what you're talking about for 32 teams. So
for 1,800 games.
Is it still 32 teams?
And still 32 teams.
I always assumed that with the Clippers moving out, that would make life somewhat easier because it's one less tenant to worry about.
I checked into that, and I think that we've always had priority over the Clippers. I think the playoffs got sticky. Jess, when all three teams were in and they were running. I think that got a little sticky, but I don't know that the Clippers had that much to do with our schedule. It's always been Lakers and, of course, like Grammys and things like that get in the way.
Biggest thing I feel like I saw is there's fewer doubleheaders this year, which seemed to be kind of chaotic, like Lakers, Kings, or Clippers, Kings.
Yeah, I think they're kind of cool. I always thought as a fan it's kind of cool that they could do that. I love the time lapse and stuff like that, but a lot less. I think Kyle, who's our ice guy, he's pretty happy about that.
Zach mentioned the priority on Saturday games. it seems like a no-brainer to me. More people can come on the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people are actively looking for something to do on a Saturday. So we've, every team, like you said, wants it. That, Luke can be a little persistent. He couldn't skate, and he got drafted whenever he got drafted, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So he really, really works hard on it. We're lucky we don't have to do it as much. He asked for feedback from ticket sales, from marketing, things like that, but he does it.
With the games, 2 kind of start time type changes. I want to start with Saturdays because it was either last year or 2 years ago. It felt like the Kings started Saturday games at every time you could possibly imagine on the clock.
Yeah.
This year, it feels like 6 o'clock is a pretty steady start time on Saturdays.
We're trying to get a default. We're trying to get a default. I think we played some 5s. We played, we've been all over the map. And we're still all over the map, but we're trying for a default time where we can get more people that live a little farther away that can come in and enjoy the game. But we do have some 7:30s at the end, which is because we're on the road the night before. So.
When I was going to games as a kid, I think the default was 8 p.m. Then at some point in my life, it changed to 7:30.
It stunk, didn't it? Because I had to go to bed after the first period.
I don't remember because I was I was like 12 or something. But at some point in my life, it turned to 7:30.
I'm dating myself. Yeah.
And it's been 7:30 for, I don't know, a few decades.
Yeah.
Now it seems like 7.
Yep.
I fully understand you mentioned the timing of it all. Especially if you have kids, I fully understand wanting to start earlier. And Anaheim's been 7 forever, right? As long as I can remember.
I think since Brian Burke left.
Were they 7? I mean, honestly, my recollection.
He liked it later?
He liked it later because he thought on the East Coast, if you started a half hour later, they'd be the only game at 7:30.
Okay.
But that felt more to cater towards a market that
That's
he
so
didn't
funny.
play in.
My honest recollection is that Anaheim, and this is probably wrong, but my recollection was that they were always at 7.
Always at 7.
Because of the family element, right? Because they essentially play in a suburb, and so no disrespect to Anaheim, but kidding, tons of disrespect to Anaheim. But but I mean, they obviously target a family audience, so kids, and they were when they started in the league, they were a Disney project.
I mean, look at the market though. There's so many more teams. We're competing for fans so much more. So we have, in my opinion, in our opinion, we have to allow for people to get come in from farther away because it's just FC, all these teams that have come in. It's a real competitive market.
Are there, when building a schedule, and you may not know the answer to this, obviously building availability, Lakers, whatever other teams or events are an issue, but there are some nights where, if the Dodgers are in the World Series or if USC's playing, you'll get a traffic notice that says like, hey, by the way, the marathon is today.
Yes.
So leave early. How far out, like how many of those events are taken into account when you're building a schedule?
Well, you can almost set your watch to the Dodgers these days, so those are.
It's getting a little bit.
I guess it's dicey this year. I shouldn't say that. I don't think we're really. I think in the minor leagues we do more of that. We worry about events like that. In a major city like this, I don't think it comes up as much. I think people sort of understand. Our team in Berlin, there's a marathon, and it's an issue. Like people have to. You can't get through it, so you've got to take subways and things like that. But I don't think here it's as big a deal.
And there's always stuff you can't plan for, diplomat visits.
Like the Dodgers playoffs, right?
Like
they're in
exactly.
October.
And I don't remember how many years ago this was. It's probably more than 10 years ago. But do you remember when the space shuttle landed at LAX and then slowly drove? I can't remember where it was headed, but it was an entire day of travel just lost because the space shuttle was slowly driving through LA. Can't plan for that, I guess.
No, you can't plan for it. So.
This is a question that's been bugging me.
Yeah.
So the first season for the LA Kings was 1967-68.
Yep.
Birthdays and anniversaries when it comes to sports are a bit weird because, when you turn 1, you weren't 1 year old for the entire first year of your life. But you weren't 0 years old, right? So you turn 1, but you are 1 year old for the entire second year of your life, if that makes any sense. So when it comes to sports teams, it's like, all right, the Kings were 0 years old in the 1967-68 season.
Yep.
So now it's, we're 2026, 27. So is this the 60th season? But then there was also the 2004-2005 season that never happened. So do you take one off? Are you counting up? Are you counting back? Like, how does the organization
take COVID out of it? Yeah, I don't know.
All right,
that's such a bizarre question, Jesse. Like,
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you if I can swear again.
Yeah. I want to ask one more about the start times too, because 7. No, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Which
I've never even had that conversation.
I'm gonna do some math when we get out of this thing, and I can write it down. 7 versus 7:30.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of see pros and cons of both.
Yep.
What specifically, made the Kings so gung ho about 7? It seems like there were maybe a few factors there.
Well, it came down to there's just not many teams playing 7:30s anymore. So we looked into it. We got player feedback. That was a big point. We looked at the data, and this was what sold me is our season ticket member usage is higher at 7 than 7:30. So that's you're only as strong as your members.
So when you say really usage, what do you mean?
Means their scans, their tickets get used more on 7 o'clock than 7:30.
Okay.
So and then when we talked to the players, and then we talked to the sports science guys, the trainers. It all makes a big difference. That extra half hour, and so we're going to have plenty of 7:30s because of TV and things like that. But it just there was a lot of factors that went into it, but we didn't do it. We started having these conversations years ago, and we got a great business intelligence team now, and they really grabbed a lot of stuff, and I think we're in a good spot now. I think we got a good mix, but
I'm surprised to hear you say that the usage rate is higher at 7 p.m. starts. As somebody who's been at most home games, how much reaction will there be if it turns out that that's not true?
I don't know. I mean, does anyone in the city still play at 7:30? I don't. I think the Dodgers play at 7:10.
Yeah.
Right? Like the 7 o'clock games with 7:10. I don't think. I think people are just going to learn when the games are. I mean, I can't see into the future, Jess, but
sure.
I think we gathered a lot, and again, we're still going to have funky game times because of TV. Like I think we had an 8 o'clock on a Monday last year.
Is that a national game?
There's some random 6 o'clocks or 6:30s on weekdays. Which
plenty of good seats available for that on a Monday night. 8 o'clock.
So 7 o'clock. I don't think I've been to a sporting event in LA where the building was full at puck drop or at first pitch or whatever. It's just nature of the beast. Like you look out. If you're in the building, you see a line out, to the freeway of traffic.
100%.
Would you say, though, that at 7 versus 7:30, you might see people more willing to watch the final 10 minutes of the game?
Absolutely, we can see it.
At 7?
We can see it, yeah. We can see when people are coming in. We can see when people are leaving. We can see when they're eating, what they're eating, how much they're eating, and those type things. So they're not colossal shifts, by the way. They're really not colossal shifts, but it was favorable, and I think when we factored in some of the player feedback and the support staff and the medical staff is that extra recovery time's big time, and then when you factor in that our travel schedule is probably the worst in the league, so maybe outside of Seattle and Vancouver, that extra half hour, it's I don't think you and I do a lot of recovering, but they do.
Does it matter at all? Like so a team like the Kings play on the West Coast and they have to travel, like, the closest, yes, there's Anaheim, but every other opponent is a flight.
Yep.
If every other team in the league is a 7 p.m. start, even if, I don't know how many of them, 25 of them are non-Pacific division or like Western time zone, like if you're going to St. Louis, if you're going to Dallas, if you're going to Nashville, Washington, Pittsburgh, New York, etc., you're in a different time zone, but it's a 7 p.m. start. Does that change your reaction to a 7:30 start when you are at home? I don't know if that makes any sense.
What do you mean? From a
even though you're on a different clock.
Are you talking about competitive advantage wise?
No, I just mean like as a player, like if you've gotten player feedback. So like Artemi Panarin, for example.
Okay.
He's been playing in New York.
Yep.
And I don't know if the Rangers start at 7, but let's just say they do.
Yep.
He comes out to LA.
Yeah.
It's a half an hour difference, but he's been used to 7. Now when you guys travel, if you're on the road and it's like, okay, well, when is the game? The game's at 7.
And they're almost always at 7.
And so your whole daily routine, I'm sure that the players' practices, morning skates, naps, meals, like all of that is built around, I'm assuming, the start time. So 100%. Does it help just
That's why we're trying to find defaults.
Homogenize the whole experience.
I guess we're trying to find defaults,
right?
So if it's a lot easier with the affiliates, but you know, in Ontario, 7:00 weekday, 6:00 Saturday, 3:00 Sunday, right? So that's a default. Now sometimes the visiting team makes you play 5 in Ontario on Sunday or things like that. But to your point, the players get into a routine. The people that travel get into a routine. The trainers get into a routine. They know it. And then the other part to it is like, you know, I think I disagree with Berkey. It's probably not the first time, but you know, we played a bunch of early like matinee games on Saturday. They were great for us at the box office, first of all. Okay. And you know, you've got people back in Toronto getting to watch Quentin Byfield. You know, like I said, I had to go to bed watching Hockey Night in Canada after Peter Puck, which was in the first intermission. And you know, when there was games on, that's how I knew the Lakers, because they played in the afternoons.
Right.
And I grew up in northern New York, right? So if we want to build our brand nationally, and we can talk international too, but if we want to build it nationally in the U.S. and Canada, like that's important. And then again, you know, young families come into those games. There's different people, and the building has a different feel with those games. And so I think it's been successful for us. And you know, we're in the ticket sales business, and it's been that's been really strong. Or at least last year it was. Maybe it was opponent based, but last year was really strong in those matinees.
Another way to get people in the building is promotional nights. Now, in years past, we've done entire episodes based around promotional calendars.
Don't get me in for that. Like, we have enough internal arguments about those things.
But one of I love Armenian Heritage Night.
Yeah.
Me too. It's fantastic. I mean, it's the best night of the year as far as I'm concerned. And it'll return this year. But I mean, how complicated, like how big a group of people is involved in picking the promotional calendar?
Can I be honest? It used to be a lot bigger group than it is now. It's you know, everyone has an opinion. So it's really come down to a smaller group. We obviously we have partners that we have to think about with a lot of these things, but you know, we're trying to grow our fan base. So we're trying to do things that will bring in different people that might not have otherwise come to a Kings game, and then try to get them hooked. So hook's probably not the right word, but you know, try to get them to, boy, this hockey game's pretty fun too. So you know, we try to mix it up. We have our traditional nights, and then you know, this year we got some fun, you know, Scooby-Doo, we've got Marvel, we've got Barbie coming, and then one that we're particularly proud of, and we had a competition internally to where we tried to find the next theme night, and that's Buddy the Elf on the Shelf night. So,
I'm so glad you mentioned it, because that's the one that I wanted to ask about.
Yeah.
It's the only one where you actually have, like, first of all, nobody knows who Kevin Feige is. No offense, Marvel fans, but like for Marvel night, if you had Kevin Feige, like unless you had Robert Downey Jr. come to the game,
right?
Nobody, whatever. But Will Ferrell comes to games all the time and has come to a game dressed as Buddy.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, Josh, or I just called you Josh.
That's a bad one. Bad one for me.
Duels, you could explain the face-off competition we had with the theme nights, and we had a lot of fun with it. We broke up into teams, and everybody had to come up with a theme night idea, and that one won. So
that was far and away the best idea presented, but also Scooby-Doo came from that. Emo Night came from that.
Jared Shaffron has to be behind Emo Night.
He sure was.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's still upset he wasn't a finalist, but the night made the calendar. I think like 4 or 5 of the nights came from that.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I felt that for a few years the promotional schedule felt very stagnant.
Yeah.
And it feels like this year there is a lot of different things that I've never seen since I've worked here.
Yeah.
And that in itself was kind of exciting to me, of like the Buddy the Elf thing is a perfect example. It's like that's never been seen or done here before, and it's completely different than things that have been done in the past.
Yeah. And then we've got Kopitar night, which is going to be, you know, that's going to be great.
So 2 different nights, but same question. How much participation how much do you need to clear with Will Ferrell or Anze Kopitar before booking something in and saying like, okay, we're going to build an entire night around, you know, you basically?
Honestly, you have to get Jen Pope on your show, but she's a magician with this kind of stuff. The Kopitars have been very involved. Enos has been very involved, along with probably more involved than Anze. He's pretty laid back, but this is a huge night for them. So we wanted their input on when we had it and specifically what night we had it. And there's NHL rules just so you can't do those ceremonies after a certain date. So I want to say it's March 7th. You've got
Is that because of the trade deadline?
I'm not sure.
Playoff push and everything.
I'm not sure. One of the dates was bumping right up against the trade deadline, and so
what a weird rule.
I'm not sure. I think it just starts getting more serious. I'm not sure. I can find that out for you, but
I know it's true though, because when the Kings honored Jonathan Quick for $750 a few years back, they had to get a special exemption to even be able to do that ceremony, which was substantially less than.
What is this like wearing white past Labor Day? Or
I don't know. I've never followed those rules.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No. So anyway, I can tell you a little story. The Kopitar kids, they're going to be in Slovenia. They're on break that week, so it's worked out perfectly for them. So it's going to be a great night.
How important was it with the Kopitar night? Like with Dustin Brown, he was honored the season after, and that one I felt like at the time was a little surprising to be that quick. I was not surprised whatsoever to see this turnaround be that quick. How important was it just to make sure it happened immediately with Kobe?
I think it's important. But you got to get their buy-in. You have to. This is a big thing. It's if you really think about it. So you have to make the family comfortable. You have to make the athlete comfortable, obviously. And I think that has more to do with it than anything. We want to do it. We want to put more numbers in the rafters and do that. But if the family, if the camp isn't wanting to do it, then it's hard to do. So I think a lot of it was their input, specifically the family.
I apologize in advance for asking this.
Yeah.
If the answer goes sideways, we can edit it out.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a quick night ever?
I have no idea. Well, obviously we want it. Mm-hmm. Obviously we want it. But again, everyone has to agree that that's what we're doing. So I think we got to get everybody comfortable with it. It's not something that I'm real comfortable talking about.
Sure.
I've met John once or twice. He came to the Calder Cup games in Manchester, and that's about it. So I can't speak to that.
I ask just because it's a topic of hot debates in the fan base, and I don't know. I don't know where people got the impression that it was never going to happen, because I don't have that impression.
It'd be a shame if it did. I don't want to speak for anyone involved in it. It's the Kings want to do it.
All right. Next question. When Luc Robitaille, Rob Blake, and Wayne Gretzky had their jerseys retired, they were inducted into the Kings Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Dustin Brown was not.
Yes.
Was that an oversight, or will the Hall of Fame be returning?
The Hall of Fame is returning, and then there's actually going to be, I'm glad you asked, Jess, there's actually going to be a physical space within the building, within the concourse, the 100 concourse.
Okay.
That's permanent. We will have a selection committee, and we will bring that Hall of Fame to life. I think it's sort of been, set to the side for a while, and I think we think it's time that it comes back to life. So, from my understanding, this is more Mike Altieri, Luc Robitaille, people that have been around longer than I have, but the people that are in the rafters are automatically in the Hall of Fame. So whether that was communicated or not, they would be in there, obviously. So, but it'll be cool. It's our game entertainment staff's been working real hard at it, and to get this physical piece that's going to be permanent, and I think it's going to be fun. And it's going to have some old equipment and stuff, like Rogie Vachon's pads or a mask or something like that. I think it'll be cool.
Does this give you the chance to maybe honor some players who aren't
100%
jersey retirement worthy, but were still extremely important to the LA Kings?
Yes. Like think of all the guys that played on the Cup teams, and before that, your Jim Fox and people like that. I think it's gonna be great, and I think it's long overdue.
Who's on the selection committee?
The selection committee is a work in progress, but we're really trying to be thoughtful and not just do it.
I have a million questions about the Hall of Fame, but I don't want to overwhelm you and bore Zach.
We'll get Mike on here to talk about it. Yeah.
So one of the I don't know why I keep losing this word. Promotional nights has a Rogie Vachon 60th mask.
Yep.
Was that part of this thought process of the Hall of Fame?
I think it was more to do with it's our 60th, and we want to do something cool on opening night. I think that's where it came from, and our promotions team came up with these masks, and they got all excited about it. And tip of the cap to the gang at Crypto. They were usually uncomfortable with masks on the ingress, so they're going to let us do it this time, and we're really excited. They're really cool.
3 words I have learned as a result of my time with the Kings: ingress, egress, and vomitorium. Ingress, by the way, is when the crowd is entering the building.
I don't like the word vomitorium either.
Vomitorium.
Well, vom for short.
Yeah, vom.
But,
yeah.
But it's just the passage between the seats and the concourse.
Yeah.
It's a great word.
We all learned that. We all learned that.
Yeah, but ingress is when people are coming in.
Yeah.
And I know that there was, in the past, a lot of debate over whether, I don't even remember what the giveaway was, but it was, should it be during ingress or egress?
Yeah.
And one of the concerns with egress, which is when the crowd is filtering out, is that if you're handing out a giveaway as people are leaving, it creates choke points and crowds.
Egress sucks.
Yeah.
So you try to avoid it as much as you can. It's usually, when you're leaving a sporting event, at least when I'm leaving a sporting event, it's usually Kings. I don't go to many others, but I go to the Dodgers once a year, and I'm trying to get out of there, man. Like I'm, and if you're trying to hand me a poster or something, we're just running, So we try to do things that are allowed on the ingress as much as possible, or some, in the playoffs we put the rally towels on the seats. I think that's a cool visual too. So, but we try to avoid the egress and the vom.
I didn't know the building had that much say in when things happened like that.
Well, there's security issues is what that comes down to. So like if you gave out pucks, for example, like they'd be worried that there's a bad call and everyone's going to throw the pucks. Sure. So you that's what it, we can go on for hours on that, but a lot of it's security and safety, which they handle, which the building handles. We don't handle that. Yeah.
Don't tell the Hinkster.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the league put out, I would call it a statement about the hometown remix jerseys.
Worst kept secret in.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's been known for however long now, but the league finally, I guess, addressed it with a PR type statement that offered no information.
Yep.
Kings will obviously participate. How nice is it that falls during an anniversary season where you're bringing other things back?
It's cool because ours is a nod to the all the eras of the Kings. There's been several of them, and you can debate how to slice them up, and you historians would know better than me. But I think it's cool. It happened on a good year for us, so we're pumped.
DJ Bean of the podcast What Chaos.
Okay.
Used
for it.
He used I think it was probably like MS Paint or something.
Yeah.
But he publicized what he believes the jersey will look like.
Okay.
How many nights? Do you know how many nights the Kings will wear this hometown remix jersey?
I think we gotta. I'm gonna be wrong, but I think we have to wear them 7, and I think we're trying to wear them 10 or 11.
Wow.
Okay. I think there's a couple. We can't. I found out yesterday we can't take them on the road for. There's certain teams that are approved to wear both. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to work that, but it gets very complicated with multiple city road trips, because you got to think about helmets and.
Well, and if the other team wears dark or light or whatever, and you got to match.
Yeah, so there's some of the teams the league has said, you can play the Boston Bruins and both of you guys can wear your hometown remix. Mm-hmm. Not that we would do that because they'd be on a long trip here and we'd be on a long trip there, but there's teams that we're approved to both wear that.
In the past, the Kings
don't ask me which ones.
The Kings and Ducks have done, for lack of a better term, color rush games where both teams wear dark jerseys. Any plans on something?
Yeah, we'd love to do that. We're reaching out to them. Sean's on vacations, but I think we definitely want to do it. I think the Ducks want to do it. I thought it was cool. You guys want to talk about international hockey? No?
I mean, I know that Elton Hermanson scored twice in a preseason tournament over in Sweden. We can talk about that if you want.
Well, I heard our draft pick is doing really well in the Ice Baron
Creston.
training camp.
Tobias Creston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday. They're very, very happy with him. So that's
good.
That's great news.
Saw the NHL is going to Germany for a couple games.
Well, it's kind of like we touched on before with Quentin Byfield playing at a reasonable hour in Toronto. I think you're going to see teams. Nashville did it last year. They played 1 o'clock on a Monday. they're working on an NHL package, a Monday night package in Europe, and so you're going to see a lot more 1 o'clock East Coast Monday games, which would be a tough sell from a ticket sales perspective, but all these leagues are, and I was listening to them about the NFL too, all these leagues that are trying to rush into Europe, and the NHL is no different. So they're going to, I would think, again, I don't run the league, and I don't know anything about TV deals outside of our own, but I would think that if they're going to ask these East Coast teams to play a 1 o'clock game every third year at home, I would think it's a matter of time before they asked us to play a 1 o'clock, and then you'd have a Monday night doubleheader in Berlin, for example.
This isn't overseas. This is closer, but not the NHL.
Yeah.
With an 84-game schedule and a shorter training camp and a shorter preseason schedule and a new CBA with all sorts of rules that I'm not even going to try and remember or get
Pillows,
into.
what kind of pillows they have in the hotel.
How does that impact the relationship between the Kings and the Reign, if at all?
I don't think it does. The Kings and the Reign it's awesome, our relationship. I mean, Dooley and I came from there. We're developing people in the front office, trainers.
I just meant
coaches.
like scheduling.
Yeah, schedule-wise.
Does it mess with anything?
No, Luke's always trying to get us to move the Reign schedule around, but it's a lot of the same fans, but it's a different fan base. We have I was looking at it yesterday. I think 4th largest season ticket base in the AHL, and which is saying something. And we came out here in 15, so it's 11. What's that? 11 years? 12 years? Yeah. So we've done really well. We have over 4,000 members, so that's pretty good in the American League. And so we have our own fans out there, and they want to watch a team on a Saturday night as well. So
does bringing the preseason games there each year help to maybe grow the Kings reign?
Absolutely. It's a game that our fans are craving out there. It's this year's exciting, guys, because the preseason has been cut down. There's going to be more NHLers in that game than ever. So because they got to get their reps, right? And what I've heard, and I don't know this for a fact, that some of the veteran guys would rather play in Ontario than get on the plane more than they have to. So I think this year's game is going to be really, really good. It's a Saturday against Vegas, so I think it's going to be a good game.
I don't think the Kings have to get on a plane for the preseason, do they?
I don't know.
Anaheim. Do they go
3 home games and 1 game?
Isn't there
in
one
Anaheim?
in Utah or no?
It's at home.
Okay.
At least
home.
that's what's
Okay.
on my schedule.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
No, I think it's because it's more condensed. It's gonna, there's gonna the NHLers are going to play a lot more.
Somebody asked me this, and you may not know the answer to this, but in the past there have been veteran rules on preseason games.
Yep.
With a condensed preseason schedule,
that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to deal with that anymore because I think they're going to want to. They need to get some reps. Some live reps.
And usually the last game is basically the full roster. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 1 or 2 guys take a night off.
We're going to try to get the roster early for our fans out there. It's not always easy. There's just so many moving parts in training camp, but it'd be great, to 48 hours, 36 hours ahead to know who is going to play.
Well, I guess we'll find out in less than a month because, like I said, all of this kicks off basically the middle of September. I don't 100%. Know the exact starting day of training camp, but the last rookie tournament game is the 15th, and the first preseason game is the 19th. So it's a pretty small window to start training camp.
Got one more trip left to South Carolina, and then it's hockey.
Say hi to my family while you're out there in South Carolina.
Where are they?
Hilton. Well, no, not Hilton Head. What's across?
Buford?
Yeah, Buford County.
Bluffton?
Bluffton. Thank you.
Okay, beautiful area.
Bluffton,
yeah.
All right, Darren Abbott, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. This was fun.
South Carolina.
Anytime. Yeah.